cannot beat me. Don't know why they keep on trying, I'ma keep on grinding. My your boy gon' be on TV. We came all the way from nothing, turned it into something. No, these niggas cannot beat me. Don't know why they keep on trying, I'ma keep on grinding.
No Vaseline was good, but it didn't hit like.
Turn it into something. Yeah, we made it something. They like the way I turn nothing into something.
What's up, what's fly, and what's happening? Welcome back, inmates. You are now locked in once again with the podcast that goes behind the bars of local and international artists and discusses the culture in real time because, as I always say, a life lived, it's a bar. I am your hostess with the mostest. I'm Miss Play Ma, and I'm rocking it out solo this week. The part-timer Big Play could not make it in this week, but that's all right. We forging on because the show must go on. And we got a good show this week. Season 2 been kind of off the chains, man. We've been really digging deep into some things. And this week is no different. We're going to be looking at a song by not a real well-known artist, but he's the son of a really well-known artist. And so we're excited about that. And we have a guest in the building. We have a phenomenal guest in the building, and I'm excited to have him here today. And so we are going to skip playtime this week because playtime is the time when we let Play say whatever's on his mind. And I usually take playtime when he ain't here, but I think we want to, again, give enough time to have the discussion that we want to have. And so the song, like I said, that we're talking about, the artist, his name is Chris Rivers. And Chris Rivers is actually the son of the late Big Pun. Now, some of the younger viewers may not know who Big Pun is. But if I say, I don't want to be a player no more, I'm not a player, I just crush a lot. That might ring a bell. This is his son. And this song was released in 2017, but it recently gained some traction because somebody shared it on social media. And so I had never heard it before. I never knew the story or the background until just recently. And so the video is pretty graphic, and it's accompanied by some pretty vivid lyrics that chronicle abuse that Chris suffered at the hands of his father, which is Big Pun. Not just him and his sisters, and also his mom. And so the video is pretty vivid. And so we're going to go behind the bars of that, as well as just discuss how domestic abuse affects the world today, how things that we suffer as kids follow us throughout adulthood sometimes. And so we're going to look at that. But in order to do that, we got a guest. Tell somebody we got a guest. I like to play the wrestling music when we have guests because they're coming up out the flow. But no, we got a guest that's joining us, and he is a dear friend of mine. He's a zone boy who is very well known in the Kalamazoo area. He's made a name for himself also in the Detroit area. He's left his mark in the Grand Rapids area, and he's taken his movement far and wide. He's an event planner. He's a promoter. He's an influencer. He's a talent manager. And he's also a really dope father. It's none other than Mr. Golden Boy himself. Y'all give a warm behind bars welcome to Mr. Brandon Burnett, a.k.a. Brand New.
Yes, man, thank you.
What's up, B?
Man, not much. I'm very excited on being on the Big Play and Miss Play My show. So I very appreciative to you, wanting me to be here. Thank you very much.
Yes, and we're so happy that you're here. And we're going to jump right into it. But before we do that, I want to give you a chance to shout your people out so they don't be mad at you.
Yo, shout out to Brand New Entertainment. That's me as a whole. Everybody that helped me out there. I'm not gonna just get in depth of naming names and calling everybody out. I don't want to miss nobody, but you definitely know who you are. I'm always reaching out, from if you're making a flyer to me or pouring a drink. It's always appreciated. So shout out to everybody who love me like I love you. Definitely.
Shout out to everybody connected to Brand New. And Golden Boy. I like Golden Boy. I know
I do
that's
too. You know, I was, you know, me and my friend been talking about going through a name change from Brand New to transitioning something different. Brand New is getting kind of old to me. I'm always looking for something brand new.
right.
So, you know, hey, Golden Boy just might work for me.
It just I just thought about it though. You've run into some trouble because of Oscar De La Hoya. It's Golden
Absolutely,
Boy.
absolutely. That's real Golden Boy, huh?
I just thought about that. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this first verse and look at that and we're gonna play that and then we're gonna stop after the first verse. And so the first verse it starts with basically some credits, some words that Chris Rivers wrote down. And so there won't be any music accompanying that. But after that, it'll go straight into the verse and then we'll come back and chop it up. Cool?
Definitely.
All right, let's go.
To my past and I could barely force a smile. The common misconceptions that parents should forge a child. From the fires of experience, happiness, hand-me-downs, and the wisdom you acquire, not anger and acting wild. You're worse than the bullies, the rapists, and pedophiles. It's you that we should trust to protect us and make us proud. I should strive to be the man that you presented to me, not the man that you showed your friends that you pretended to be. I look in mommy's eyes and said I'd kill him if I could, but I'm too damn weak and small and I'm not sure if I even should. But I've seen what he's done to you. I know that it isn't good. If I could be a shining armor, I swear to God that I would. And I wish I said more things, but I was young and I was voiceless, and I couldn't find the words to make you feel like there were choices, make you feel like you were priceless when you petrified with fear. But to my sisters and my mom, just know I'm stronger and I'm here.
Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the dark? Are you king? Are you lights? Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the dark? Are you king? Are you lights? Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the dark? Are you king? Are you lights? Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the
dark? Man, so this video is very it's vivid. And you know, as a person that has me myself grew up and experienced domestic violence in the home, not child abuse, but witnessing domestic violence in the home, the video is kind of triggering to watch. But I want to look at first the opening credits. There was a part in the opening credits that stuck out to me that said, chains, from the ones that shackle you to the ones that link your past to your future. They all need to be broken. Now, why do you think he sees those chains as being equal?
In my sense, and you know what I've been through, they're equal in a sense, physically, mentally, and just in a whole presence.
Mm-hmm.
Physically meaning, you know, you getting in trouble, you being bound to, you know, the county jail, you've been bound to the prison systems, you being bound to where you cannot open up to, you know, be great or, you know, make the moves that you want to make. And also in the sense of your past, with experience, I've been in plenty of situations where, you know, being a juvenile, doing obstructive things, or where the community sees you as a threat or, you know, a bad type of kid. And then if they're not able to see that change throughout the years, when they see you, I think they just still see that kid that they knew years ago. You know, they haven't even give you a chance to figure out what you're doing, what you might be doing new, You'll always be that kid that, hey, he been this, he been that, rather what situation, you know, he might have been in.
Right.
So that's where he grasps that it's the same bound because it's holding you back from, you know, doing
and that's it. You said it, because they will both hold you back and restrict you from moving forward. And that's why, you know, I always speak from the aspect of Christianity. And that's one of the things that I love most about salvation. And because it's as far as the east is from the west, is what the Bible says, as far as he'll put the distance he'll put between you and your old sin. It's dead to him. And so if not for that, like you said, we'll never be in the, you know, people then told us we would always be on the street corner rolling blunts and drinking.
Hey, my basketball told me, hey, Brandon, you ain't gonna be nothing probably where you go on. You out there selling dope on the corner. I remember that. It sticks in my head still to this day of certain things people have said to me that makes me want to overcome to say, hey, I'm not that person.
Right. I'm not that. And like you say, so it's so important that you process and deal with things that may be holding you captive. And also, once you do, let go of what you used to be, because if you don't let go of it, other people certainly ain't gonna let go of it.
Now, Angie, let me tell you, sitting here thinking about that, it's okay to have your guards up with some individuals. Some people don't. Some people just not gonna change. I guess you can really sit there and say that. Some people really want to change. Some people's not, and you know, maybe it might be hard for that individual to change because, you know, you might be showing the same repetition of what you were showing before. So that might have their guard up, and that's okay to not give you, you know, not to be so open with chances, but you know, to still be on the lookout with you, but still be open.
Because one thing about it is your change will prove out. You know, your change will prove out. It'll show. And then those that don't recognize it are usually those that are committed to keeping you in a box. And like you say, long as you stay true to your change, it'll prove out. It always do.
Absolutely.
And so so I heard you hit on a little bit about how the idea of chains resonates with you concerning your life. You said some things, and people don't realize this. That's why I say people need to really watch what they say and the things that they speak out of their mouth. That still resonate with you to this day. That an adult said that to you as a young man.
Absolutely. How long ago is that? Over 20 years ago?
Yeah.
That is still, I can still see it. I can still hear it. I can put myself back at that space.
Right.
And, you know,
definitely. I always quote this, and and I'm by no means a Dr. Phil fan, but he said something that I really know is true. He said, when you talk to kids, for every you stupid, it takes 100 data boys to erase that one foul thing that you said. So imagine if you only speak in negative things and rarely speak in positive things. That's a mountain for them to overcome.
Yeah, definitely.
That's crazy.
And then we wonder why, you know, as adults, we're, you know, acting out or, you know, being weird, or our kids are, you know, because that's just what we know and how it crumbles.
Well, so that brings us to the next part where he says that if those chains aren't broken, then you might find that hearts, bodies, and souls are broken in their place. That's deep. So if those chains are not broken, you might find that hearts, bodies, and souls are broken in their place. How much do you believe unresolved issues from childhood play into the things that we suffer as adults?
I think it plays a major role. I think it plays a major role. You cannot brush certain situations off. I don't think, you can try and brush it off, but the relationship between you and whomever, you have this effect going on with, it's not gonna be resolved. It's not gonna be resolved if everything is brushed under the floor.
Right.
I've dealt with certain situations where, my communication might be good, or I might not want to bring up a certain situation to, possibly, wondering how they might feel. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to put anybody
in a weird place. I know what you said.
Or whatnot. So then everything is still brushed under because we haven't came to an understanding of what the problem is.
You said something though. We tiptoe. We don't want to have the uncomfortable
it's
conversation.
It's I myself don't want to get emotional on things that I want to know. I got 1,000 questions I might want to ask somebody, but
you don't want to get there.
It might go. Who knows how that conversation might go? So it's
right. It's just, but like you said, if we steady brushing, we got to stop brushing and start digging, because if we don't start digging up some of this stuff and getting it out, it's not doing nothing but growing.
So let me ask you, how, if you're open to having these conversations, to make things right with other individuals, how do you make them open if they're not receptive to having those conversations? You
can't. Everybody got to first do their own work, but all you can do is make it yourself available for it. But if they're not ready, they're just not ready. So then you got to just do your inside work on yourself, because that's the only thing you really got control over.
Nothing being resolved.
Well, you can resolve it within yourself.
Okay.
You have to come to a point where you may not know where they stand on it, and you may really want to know, but you got to come to peace with yourself about it and what you do know and the things that's under your control. Because we can't control other people.
Right.
You can
only deal.
No, but one thing for sure is the relationship between that person, it'll still suffer, but you don't have to suffer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just my take on it. Because let's look at this one part, because I thought about my brother in this, and I imagine you as a young man may feel a certain way about it as well. He said, I look in mommy's eyes and say I'd kill him if I could, but I'm too darn weak and small, and I'm not sure if I really should. I can remember my brother saying to me that he had at once, when my mom was in a situation, domestic violence, and he wanted to do something about it, but he was just a little kid. And so he was reaching out to his uncles and other people to try and get help, because he felt like, and it made him angry. And if you look over his life, you can tell the things that he was doing was out of anger. And so do you feel like in situations like Chris was in and like my brother was in, is it worse for a male watching their mother experience stuff like this than it is for a daughter? Do you think?
In a sense, yes. In a sense, I still think they're equal in both ways. I think with the male side, with a young man, a boy watching his mother being in those situations, it's more like it's a pride thing that you can't be the man that
you're not even a man yet, though.
You can't even be that person that you want to be,
right?
To help in a situation of that love that you have for your mother. And I think that in that case, us dealing in women are a different sense.
Right.
My little sister ain't ready to fight, and she's not angered,
Right.
anger, but she's not ready to, at
Right.
that sense, watching that. The boys are going to be ready to defend, to
Right.
do that. And when you can't, it's like I probably let her down, and I'm just watching, and I can't do nothing, and I'm her.
Right.
Man,
right.
So I think it might be a little bit hard for the gentleman, but in the same sense of the women, it still affects them as well, because if they're watching their mother deal with it and she's dealing, they might feel it's okay,
normal.
Yeah. I'm this kid and I'm watching this. Hey, this little boy might feel it's normal,
right?
And what been dealing
so
with.
Stop right there, because you're getting ahead to one of the questions that I wanted to ask. But I think it's important what you said, though, feeling like the boy will feel. I think you're right. I think it affects him differently, but it's both the same. You know what I mean? The impact is probably the same, because
males have that more protective sense over a woman, and that's just what it is.
And that again goes back to having to resolve that within yourself and understand that you were not a man. You were not a man. I never, when my son was coming up and it was just he and I never made him think he was the man of the house. You're not a man. You're a boy.
That was just automatic to him, to us.
Yeah, that's what you think.
It's instinct. It's gonna happen.
I know, but I didn't want him, because he would say stuff like, I would like when he was like 7 or 8, and then we talk about if it was a fire or if somebody broke in the house, and I would be telling them, go out the back door, because we used to live down the street from my grandmother. I would say, go out the back door, go down the back steps, run to Grandma Betty's house and tell her. And he's like, well, what you gonna do if I do that? And then my uncles is like, boy, you go in there. And I'm like, no, you a kid. You get out. I fend for myself. But, I can see how they would struggle with that, though. Yeah. That's funny, though, because I'm like, he wasn't nothing but this big, man. You can't even help me. What is you talking about?
You gotta do something. It don't even matter. I'm gonna be there, Mom.
I got a funny story. I was trying to scare him one day, right? We had our washer and dryer used to be in the basement. So I was in the basement, and I'm like, I'm gonna scream and make him think something happened. And when he come down here, I'm gonna be laying out on the floor, because me and him, we messing around. Yeah. So I scream like something that happened. I hear, now he was upstairs, so he got to come down 2 levels. I hear all of this rummaging around in the kitchen. Then he come almost sliding, falling down the stairs. He got a skillet in one hand and a butcher knife in the other. He's about 10 or something. I'm like, dude, with one sock on. I'm like, man, go on now, go on. Yeah, so but I definitely agree with you on that. Actually, it's the same. It's different, but it's an equal type of suffering. I definitely agree. So we want to go into the next verse and listen to that. But before we do, it is time for a commercial break. Let's stop for a moment to get you hooked up with a tailor-made service just for you. Whether it's commercial, residential living spaces, offices, or salons, TaylorMade can wipe you down and leave you so fresh and so clean. Call Taylor Blazer at 269-944-7830 or find her on Facebook at TaylorMade. You can schedule a one-time cleaning or sign up for weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly services. With all you have going on, let TaylorMade take cleaning off your list. That's TaylorMade cleaning that suits you. Shout out to TaylorMade, a young lady that's got her own business doing big things. So that's good stuff, B. Let's look at this second verse, man, and we're gonna stop it after the second verse, and then we'll talk about the bridge at the end that's been playing in between. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it that way because I was about to ask something, but let's do this first.
Shout out to the children who has overcame these challenges. Prayers to the kids who couldn't cope and wrote their bandages. All in very young, cause this world is filled with savages. Even if you're home, you're never safe, but we can manage this. Shout out to the mothers that tried to hold it steady. Had a sprained wrist and black eyes and still would make spaghetti. And told us to look away whenever things were getting scary. But the vision through my spaced out fingerprints would not impair me. Plus I knew that we was next. It's okay, ma, take a rest. You've given blood and flesh, I'll let your king here give the rest. And though I'm heavy with regrets, I know one thing for sure, that your fears that make you fall are even smaller standing tall. So I'm standing with my chin way higher than it should be. And got punched right in that statement, it rattled and shook my teeth. And I swallowed one or two, staggered upon my feet. And then he kicked my legs from under, but still wouldn't face defeat.
Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the dark? Are you king of your life? Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the dark? Are you king of your life? Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the dark? Are you king of your life? Are you brave in the dark? Are you brave? Are you brave in the dark?
Woo. Man, this song is really hard for me to just really take in and watch the visuals for it.
Yeah, the visuals is something. It's something.
It is. And so let me just point out to Chris Rivers, he said that all of the visuals are a depiction of abuse as a whole. His lyrics are what happened to him. Not everything in the video is what he's experienced, but you saw two different scenarios. The first scenario was more of the mother and the mother and the kid being kind of victimized. The second scenario, I think you could say the mother is being victimized as well, but she's kind of a villain as well. You know what I mean? She's not protecting and not really standing up for her kid.
Can I say something on that?
Go ahead.
I think that comes with the brainwashing a man can do. I think that comes with her wanting to protect you, but protecting herself, maybe her being the first to discipline. So maybe he's not disciplined.
Right.
I think you can go all sorts of ways with it. You know, her defending him, taking his side. Because I felt like that in my situations growing up as a kid, where, you know, my mom was all for me. And then at times I felt like she was siding with him.
Right.
To make him happy.
Right.
Know? That's what it was.
And in the grand scheme of things, right.
People like control. So, and I'm watching, you know, it was an accident of the kid spilling the wine.
Right.
And, you know, she was instantly
right.
Do. Where I don't think that in the beginning, she probably wouldn't have acted as if he wasn't the one dominating situations or being the, what do you call it? Just the main person of.
I see exactly what you're saying. No, I see exactly what you're saying. So in a sense, it's like, it's kind of like what we do as parenting. You know, people nowadays, they done got on these soapboxes about toxic parenting and whooping your kids. Even Black people done started that. But what they don't, and they talk about, it's a toxic way to parent, but it comes from way back, right? Way back in slavery. And this is how you know stuff travel. They would beat your butt to keep you in line because they know if you get out of line, they gonna kill you. They gonna kill you. So I'm gonna beat your butt to keep you in line to keep them from getting you. I think it's kind of the same mentality. Yeah. Let me get him before he get him. You know what I mean? Let me kind of, you know, let me get on them before this one get on them. And so it's all abuse though. It's
Yeah, it
mental
is.
abuse.
I
It's
guess
all
yeah,
a
it's just how
filter
you taking it. Yeah, let me get them before them, but you don't have to take it that
to the,
far
not
of
right.
getting somebody. You
Right.
know,
Well, you turn into an abuser though. And that
absolutely.
you'll see that at the end too. A lot of times people that are abused, they then turn into an abuser.
Mm-hmm.
And um last week, the week before last, I should say, last week was a replay. We had a guest on, shout out Pastor Larry, who came and shared his story. He made mention of the fact that he was abused and he's been an abuser as well. And so I think that plays into it too. Like you say, you going a little far with this now.
You know what, Angie, with just like what Pastor said, and I see myself being an abuser at times or previously, or have
Right.
those thoughts of what I might seen of, things like that. It has, it's come over me at times, you know what I mean? Where I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm acting like the person I despise. The
Absolutely.
same actions that, you know what I mean, I dislike or grew up watching and
Mm-hmm.
all of that stuff. I find myself being that person at times where it affects me. Like you said, like we go back to our past and those chains, it
Right.
affects me from growing and being a better person and probably being a better father or, being a better brother or whatnot, in the sense of, all of that. So
Yes.
it all
But
plays.
the fact that you recognize that is big though. Because once you recognize it, then you are now in a position to
It gets
rectify it.
scary. It gets scary.
I
It does.
bet.
Where you see something you don't want to be and you like, what do I do? How do I fix it?
Right.
What's next? What do I need to do so I don't become that? Because at probably any moment you can be that person.
That's so man, let me give you you deserve a round of applause for that point. It can be scary. And that's why it's so important parenting parenting and being an example before your kids is so important. That is the main reason I tell my son all the time. He saved my life because as he began to grow older, I knew I could not stay the same. I can't be this person in front of him. I don't that's not what I want to model for him. And so and this is why, like you said, this is why, because people can hear what you can't hear what you're saying for seeing what you're doing. What
Mm-hmm.
you model
Yeah,
is what they pick up on.
definitely.
So listen to this part that he says. He says, I knew that we was next. It's okay, Ma, take a rest. You've given blood and flesh. Now let your king here give the rest. I said, this is a young man. This is what a young man will kind of default to. He see his mama getting, abused. So he like, you know what? Forget it, man. I don't let me take this beating. That's so sad for a kid to have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you hear these and understanding what this young man dealt with, do you feel differently about the big pun?
It does have you look at him a different way. Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean?
No.
We don't know what's going on in certain people's lives or what they got going on behind home, and we don't know what happened to Big Pun growing up. He might have been, in the same situation that carried him to be the abuser, like you just said.
Stop right there,
So,
because his son actually said it. His son said, my deal, my thing is not to just tear my father down.
mm-hmm.
I think we need to know the whole him. He was abused. He was raised like that. And that led him to that. You can't just say he was just a great rap. Let me play this clip for you, and then you'll see what I mean.
Like it's not new, guys. This has been out for a while, and I didn't even. My intentions weren't even to shout it, like to bring more light to that specifically. It was more so just domestic violence thing. So I mean, it's definitely doing what we would hope in the terms that it's helping people. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely to bring clarity to the fact that my father was more than just a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like and it sucks because people tend to idolize him. You know what I'm saying? And bring him to a place where they see this perspective that they built up on him that's incomplete and a bit false, and they want to fortify that perspective or hold on to it when they never really gave the effort to get to know the real him. You know what I'm saying? I know the real him. I know his flaws. I know his perfection. I know his angels, his demons, what he's been through, why he did things, and I know his greatness and all the great things he did as well. And being the person and one of the children that he had that went through the domestic violence, that seen the things happening to my mother and seen all this stuff, like I've grown to love and forgive him for every single thing, and still.
Man,
he said something, and people are blinded they can be blinded by anything, the jewelry, the persona, the Facebook, you can be anything you want. And if you are, in a sense, doing that, nobody really knows behind the scenes.
Right.
I've been in situations where I felt like my friends might have wanted to be in my situation.
Right.
And I was ready to get out of my situation.
Right.
They were blinded by the cars and
the trips and
what Brandon had on and something like that, where they didn't know really on the inside how Brandon might have felt. It might having all this stuff. Oh, you over there crying, but it was more than just having stuff, and in that sense. So I just think people are blinded, and when you see someone who might be like Big Pun in the sense of having the money flow, he's on TV, he's at all these events,
the ladies' man,
you're not thinking about what he got going on at home. That's probably already automatic. Hey, he's doing this,
right.
You're not really knowing depth of who this man really is.
But when it comes out, though, that's the thing. What I can't ever make sense of is when it comes out, people do not want to believe that famous people or rich people or preachers or whoever it is, they are no less likely to be abusers than the average person. So when you see an R. Kelly, when you see Kevin Spacey, when you see these rich, famous people, and the evidence starts stacking pretty high, man, I get it. You want to step in the name of love. I get it. You want to go. You want to go watch. Hey,
I love his movies.
Said I know it's somebody. Come on, man. I don't care what this says. B, I don't care. And you ask anybody to know me, after 34 people, kids, little girls that was like me, I'm not stepping in the name of love, but that's just me. You know what I mean? It's some things that are just,
let's talk about the R. Kelly. You know what's going on with R. Kelly.
Right.
And you had a chance to meet him. Are you going to be blinded to what people are saying and try to know R. Kelly?
No.
Or are you going to listen to these facts and everything that's presented to him and not give that man a chance?
A chance to do what?
I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. A chance to do what?
Like I ain't do it.
Listen, he can. Listen, he can do whatever he want to do. If he wanted to talk about forgiveness and all like that, absolutely. I find it hard though to listen to Seem Like You're Ready, where he talking about young girls not being ready to have. I find it hard to listen to that knowing what you did. Now I can forgive if you say you changed and you admit that what you did was inappropriate. I can forgive you, but I don't want to hear him singing about because when you go back and you listen to it, it's all very graphic. And to me, it just feels nasty listening to it, knowing that you was taking advantage of young girls. I believe that he was. And because I do, and I know why a lot of people don't want to believe it, and I say it all the time. A lot of people don't want to condemn him because they got a 15-year-old's phone number in their phone right now. Because they 24 hollering at a 15-year-old. That's why they don't want to believe. Because you 32 talking to a 16, 17-year-old.
In communities, people sweep that stuff under the rug.
Yes.
I think they sweep it under the rug.
They do.
They know what's going on. People in communities, they know what's going on, what's happening. And I think in some situations, a lot of situations, even though they know what they should have done, what should have done was right, and they didn't.
And then if somebody do what's right, they ostracize them.
Right.
They didn't have to do that. That stuff was old, or they, you know what I mean? So we got to do better about that. That's another way.
Right.
Quit sweeping and start digging, because I'm a woman, and I'm not making it just about women and men. I'm making it about child, but I'm just speaking from my experience. Mm-hmm. I know when I was 15, 14, I know Negroes that was 25, 26, some of them 30, trying to get with me. And I didn't like grown men when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I was scared, it was like, I didn't want no parts of it, but I'm just saying, like, I should have been ringing the alarm on them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so, we got to have our own ownership.
And that comes with just being taught,
Right.
Having, someone we comfortable talking to. Okay, you can have a snack. Go ahead. I'll get you one in a minute. I'm having an interview. You got to come right back.
Yeah. Get a baby a snack. No.
Go ahead. Get your snack. You got my phone and got the snack. You good?
Yeah, you got your snack. Yeah. But no, but I think that, like you said, it all goes back to digging instead of sweeping. But listen to this though. When we talk, now the song is called Fear of My Crown. So I thought about this, a crown, the highest part, the topmost part of the skull or the head. A crown also represents power. Do you think, I think he actually did a play on words. I think it means more than one thing. Because when I think about it, fear of my crown, the head would be your father. That's the head of the household. Mm-hmm. So I can understand him fearing that, but also fearing his own power. Yep. You know what I mean? Let's watch this last clip. And if you pay close attention to what's happening here, you'll see what I mean. Let's play that.
The glass that the lion roar. Go fear, at night. The glass that the lion roar. At night, break the glass that the lion roar. Go fear, at night. The glass that the lion roar. Go fear, at night. The glass that the lion roar. Glass that the lion
So when I looked at that and I seen him finally, first of all, the lyric says, "At night break the glass, let the lion roar." When I think about breaking the glass, you break the glass in case of emergency. You break the glass to sound the alarm. You break the glass to create a change in whatever is happening. And let the lion roar. So he got to a point where I'm, like you said, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And he turned, but then at the end, when you see him beating him, and then it turns into a little boy, that's what you were talking about earlier. Him seeing the monster that he lived with himself turn into that.
Definitely. That's so super deep.
Man, ain't it? It's deep and it's sad.
Yeah,
It's,
definitely. In both senses, because you deal with it, you become that, and you end up hurting everybody.
right.
Even yourself. So,
And it's a cycle.
Yeah. And how do
It's
we
a
break
cycle.
that? How do we break that?
You know what I
Talk to
say?
someone, or what do, especially our people, we're not the ones going to get help, often. We don't have, a lot of people, my peers, don't have someone they can look up to give them that good advice, or have
Right.
a good conversation with, to get that good food. So what do we do?
I think we
And
have
that's
to.
just an open-ended question, not
Yeah.
asking you what do we do, but
Right.
we
But
have
I do think that we have to, and I think for the most part we have begun to do this, is remove the stigma around going to see counselors and things like that, because I know a lot of people who have benefited so much from talking to a counselor, a therapist, because that's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to be a small child. I'll give you an example, and I didn't go to a therapist for this, but it doesn't mean that maybe I shouldn't have. But growing up, I always had an issue with my father, because I felt like while my brother felt like he wanted to be a defender, I felt helpless in a different way. And I blamed him, because I felt like you left and you allowed this to come into our lives. And then you didn't do anything to save your kids, because we're still your kids, right? And so it changed the way I viewed men.
Was it that because he wasn't in the home? Like
Right.
when you just that sense of that taking care
Right.
of him, he was not there physically.
Because he wasn't there. I feel like if you would have stayed, we wouldn't be in this position, first of all. Secondly, now that we're in this position, you still my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You still should be trying to help us. I wasn't even thinking like it's got to be a way, like, that you could have, because he's my father, and that's how I looked at it. Like, if he's not going to help us get out of this, where's it? How are we going to get out of it? You know what I mean?
In my sense, I feel the same in some aspects as well. And at times that still affects me now, even though I'm a whole adult, and I don't need nothing. I don't need nothing from my father. I don't need nothing. But in some sense, there's still that.
It is, B. And this is why, though.
Of thickness that's, still laying there, and we had these conversations and talked and been open, but
it's still there.
But
this is when I realized it, though. I was about 26. And it was after I had changed my life and given my life to Christ. And I the first thing I did was begin to understand what he went through. I got to understand how he didn't value his own life. I got to understand that the loss of his sister and all of that affected him in a way to where he didn't value himself. And if you don't value yourself, you can't be a good father. You can't do any of that. And so I came to realize that in addiction and all those things, I understood that it wasn't his desire to be that, but he was that. That was the first thing. Secondly, I realized that because of that, I looked at men differently. I looked at them like, man, listen, they ain't worth, you know what I mean? I'm not putting too much stock in them. I can take them or leave them. I can take them and then leave them. You know,
Right.
like it was just
you
like,
good to go. You know how to move.
I'm good.
You gotta operate.
Right. I'm because that's what my perception was. But when I realized that and I started dealing with that, I started looking at myself with an honest look. How's that working for you? How's that working for you? And it wasn't working for me. It was just more self-destruction. And once I realized that and I prayed about it and I got in the scripture and stuff like that, then I was able to start viewing things differently. And now me and my father have a really good relationship. And, it's not this big, it's not these chains, you know what I mean, holding me bound. So I don't know that. And then what about this, B? When she say, "Are you brave in the dark? Are you king with no lights on?"
Brave in the dark, to me, I just overcoming your past. Whatever was frightening you, whatever you dealt with, whatever you deal with in the dark that nobody else knows. It's overcoming that. Are you brave at that sense, or are you still that person that can't overcome your past in yourself? At that point, it's nobody else. It's within you, because we know what we need to be doing.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
When it comes down to it, we can blame everything on everybody, but we can stand on it. Comes down to ourselves. We are the ones that, in reality, need to make the change. And
that's it.
If we don't understand that, we don't come to that conclusion.
Once you become an adult and you start procreating, you might as well cut that my parents talk and get to working on yourself. Like you say, get to working on yourself. And then he say, I thought about when he say, "Are you king when no lights on?" I thought too that it might have been a play on the fact that his father was this to the public, but at home, behind, under the cover of, he was not that. You know what I mean? He say, it was a part where he say, "I was being the man that you presented to me and not who you pretended to be." That goes back to what you're saying. The man that you showed up as in the house is what I started to model. Not who you pretended to be, because that wasn't you. Mm-hmm. And so that's deep. Are you brave in the dark? Are you king with no lights on?
Definitely. Because me looking at Big Pun, like you said earlier, all I'm thinking is, don't want to be, I'm looking at the stuff. I don't see nothing
with
else
all the ladies around him.
That's it. I don't know what he was. I don't even care. As long as, hey, turn that Big Pun on. Let's go.
Right. And that's why I think people don't want to condemn stuff, because they don't want to feel dirty when they still listening to these people music. Listen, I love the Unusual Suspects with Kevin Spacey, the movie 21, Kevin Spacey. I watch it now and I'm thinking Kevin Spacey was
21. That was that movie. That was a good one.
That was that deal. Yeah. I don't want to say this and get our feed tapped, but he was SAing little boys everywhere. He was just abusing them, sexually abusing them. I mean, bullying them. And I'm like, Kevin,
what are you doing?
What is you doing, dude? I can't even watch this stuff. But I immediately started thinking, now what little kid was he accosting on this set? Mm-hmm. So, and I take responsibility for myself, even though I was a child, like when the R. Kelly sex tape came out, when he was peeing on the little girl.
Yeah.
I was a kid, but I never seen the tape, but I heard about it. And I turned a blind eye to it as a kid. I'm an adult now. I take responsibility for for not giving that the due that it deserved at the time, I'm not going to do that as an adult.
Yeah. And times is changing now. Times is changing from then, you know.
They
like
need
said,
to
sweep it under the broom. That's what they did to that video.
Right.
You know, sweep it under. Let's bring it back because this is a whole new time area. What you was doing, let's acknowledge it now.
Right.
That was wrong. You know,
it
now
was wrong.
It. Yeah, it was wrong. You know,
Man, just say it. Don't try to tell me about. They want to hold everybody accountable, but the person who victimized people, you want to hold it's just like the same thing. Well, I don't want to get off into that. I'm gonna let that one go because you know, I get going and that's another episode. Yeah, but I think we did good though on this song. I think that's a powerful video. I think anybody, you should, when you finish watching this, go back and look up Chris Rivers' Fear of My Crown and watch that whole video all the way through, because man, he did something with that I think I don't know how it went so under the radar in 2017.
And that's what I'm saying. Hey, I didn't know anything about the song until you mentioned it, what we were, you know, going through. But it really had me tuned in to why we didn't know about this before, because the visuals were amazing. It really brought life of what's going on every day.
That just goes to show they pump who they want to pump, because that dude can rap. Let's just take a moment to recognize that. Now, his daddy could rap too. I think better than people even realize. Big Pun was a really good rapper, and it looked like his son got that.
They definitely look alike.
They definitely look, and he looked like he on his way. If he about, I ain't gonna say that. He's swelling up. He got some thick legs, don't he?
Yeah, look.
I ain't gonna say, but no, we gotta get to giving some money away. So we want to move on to that. But before we do, we have one more commercial break. Southwest Michigan, why are you riding around in that dusty car when Dwight Wright and the Wright Auto Detail has a cleaning package for you? This summer, they have packages that range from $60 to $80, and the packages include 2 appointments per month, moderate interior detail and steam cleaning, car wash and wax, and more. Call or text 269-767-0449 for more information and find out which package is right for you. Give it up for the Wright Auto Detail, doing it big. All right. B, this is your opportunity to help my listeners build their jackpot up. This is your chance to do this. So what we're going to do is going to ask you some questions.
Well, I hope I know the answers.
For every question that you get right, we're going to put $5 in the pot for the next drawing. We're going to do a drawing for this week for the pot. It's $100 for the drawing for this week, but we still got to start stacking money for the next drawing. So we're going to do the questions for the next month's drawing, and then we're going to pull the name, and then we got something special for y'all after that. So here we go. I'm going to put you on a timer too, because I don't want you trying to Google stuff.
Artist questions. What is this?
Well,
it's all random. All right, let's go.
It ain't all random. It's always related to today.
Okay.
To what we did today. All right. First question. What year was Fear of My Crown video released?
2017.
That was an easy one. That's correct. That is correct. You got that. That's $5. That's $5 in there. Next question. Oh, this might be a hard one. What is Big Pun's real name?
Christopher Rivera.
Hey! Put another 5 in the bank. Boy, you was good on that one. I didn't know you was going to get that one. Question number 3. How much did Big Pun weigh? And you only have to get within 50 pounds. Within 50 pounds.
Wait, when though?
His biggest.
His biggest?
His biggest. Within 50 pounds.
475.
What? Big Pun?
He was bigger?
You didn't get that. At his biggest, he was 698.
Oh, jeez.
Yikes!
Was he walking around? What was he doing? We couldn't be before me, though. Where was he at?
Wait a minute.
I don't know. I'm confused.
B, he said, was he walking?
I don't know.
That is big. But even in them videos, B, he looked like a deep freezer. Yeah, he was a deep freezer. Come on now. That was next question. So we didn't get that one. Next question. How old was Big Pun when he died?
27.
One more try.
26. 29. 28.
Jeez, Brandon.
28.
He was 28.
All right.
I'm going to give you that. Put the money in the bank. That's another 5. We're going to give you that.
Put the 5 in too.
Okay. Here it is. Last question. What we got right now? We got 15?
$15.
Wait, 5? Yeah, we got 15. And this is just for one episode. It's going to build over the episode so y'all don't trip. Last question. What year did Big Pun die?
$2001.
What year did Big Pun die?
2000.
Yeah! Put it in the bank.
Wait, these are questions that this is just randoms. I didn't look nothing up.
These
I look a biography. I'm straight guessing on some of these.
Yeah, see, this is where I tell people. This is the part of the show where it is revealed that Brandon has not been tuned in to Behind Bars. The questions are
money, y'all.
the questions are always surrounding the episode, either the song or people connected to whoever's on the episode. So that's where it is. But that's all right. We put We put $20 in the bank.
$20.
We put a Twinkie. That's just for the first week. So we got 3 more episodes to add some money to that. So he did us a good deal with that. But remember, y'all, I forgot to tell y'all at the beginning, but y'all should know if y'all tune in, you must have liked, commented, and shared the video to have your name entered into the little bowl so that we can pull your name for next week. So we got a surprise at the end before y'all leave, but just remember that you have to like, comment, and share the video. So last week, if you've been watching the page, we had some people who's been tuned in the previous episodes. And if they like, comment, and share, they get one name in the bucket. The next week, they like, comment, share, they get another piece of their name in the bucket. The next week, same thing. So the one with the biggest odds to win is actually my bro, Nathaniel Goodwin. I don't want to hear nothing about if he win. He my brother because he like, comment, and share. He locked in every week. And so he did the work. So we're going to pull a name this week and see who is going to win the $100. Let's go. I'm not looking. A hun bun. Summer Gist. Oh my goodness.
Hey, congrats, Summer.
Summer Gist only had one entry into the thing.
Go ahead, Summer.
Go ahead, Summer. Y'all give it up for Summer Gist. Summer Gist is the winner of the $100. And Summer, all you gotta do, drop your Cash App. I'll put up the notification that you won. Under the notification, drop your Cash App. And when your Cash App come through, make sure you screenshot it and share so that they know where you won the money. But we ain't through. We are not through because our guest today did something big for y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all what our guest did. Our guest has donated to Behind Bars 2 tickets. 2 tickets to what, B?
2 tickets to see Trina, July 27th in Muskegon at Rowan Park.
Come on, hold on. Let's stop the music. Just make sure they can hear. Say that again.
I got 2 tickets to see Trina, July 27th in Muskegon at Rowan Park. This is the baddest. You already know how she's coming.
Representing for the missus. All eyes on the riches.
We got 2, so you can bring you and a guest. You can tour it up. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. And this is how you can win those tickets. Those of you that liked, commented, and shared, you got about 10 or 15 minutes. You got a 15-minute window to get as many likes on this video that you shared as you can. After the 10, once this live ends, you got 15 minutes to get as many likes as you can on this video. And whoever has the most likes will win the 2 tickets to see Miss Trina. All right, y'all heard that. I'm gonna say it again. Once this live goes off, you got 15 minutes to see how many likes you can get on the video that you shared, this video. And whoever got the most is going to win. Thank you so much for doing that for us, B.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you get out of here, B, tell us what else you got going on.
Hey, what we got going on June 30th, we having a showcase. Winner opens up for Trina. I have an all-female lineup of 15 artists. It's going to be amazing. Come see these beautiful women, and somebody's going to win the showcase and be opening up for Trina on July 27th.
Who's on the showcase?
I'm sorry?
Who's on the showcase?
Woo! Hey, who's on this showcase is crazy because I was going to do a male and female showcase.
Mm-hmm.
We opened up for Trina. So what's best to showcase the women?
The ladies.
The ladies that have been sending in music, Angie, from I don't even want to mention it. I don't want to show favoritism because I haven't heard everyone's song.
Right.
So I don't even want to mention no names.
Right.
But the music that they have been sending in have been fire. Some of these men probably would have been upset because they come in so hard. Like it's going to be amazing. One of these women, whoever wins with the amount of talent that's being showcased, is going to go far. Definitely. I can definitely say that right now.
Well, he don't want to say names, but I'm going to say names because I seen some flyers.
Hey, we got Bonnie G on the lineup. We got
Bonnie G up in the house again. It's Hannah.
We got Miss Kayla on the lineup.
Let's go.
We got Lucy Rose on the lineup.
Let's go.
So many beautiful ladies on the lineup.
That's what's up.
I think she's gonna be there. Miss Brooklyn, it's
let's go.
But shout out to you ladies. I'm very excited to see you women perform. I'm definitely a supporter. I am not a judge.
See, so it don't even matter.
Nope. I want to just be a watcher. I want to be entertained, and this is going to be an exciting event. This is June 30th, and this is at the Dorm House Theater, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Portage Road. Doors open at 8 o'clock. Show starts promptly at 9 o'clock.
Let's get it. And B, I need you to send some of them artists to Behind Bars. I do artist showcase, so I got another one coming up.
A judge. Hey,
I don't know about all that.
If you are available, you definitely can be a judge. So
B.
in and out, hey,
I can't be at the party like that. I can't be at the party like that.
Send you some of this music though. I'm definitely gonna send you some.
Yeah, send me the music.
Steal these females out. I think you'll be, very surprised and very entertained with it, and it's great.
Yeah, because I want to have them. I can go behind their bars for sure, but I'm skating on thin ice on the podcast. I definitely can't be at the party.
Maybe we can work something out where the winner can be interviewed on your podcast as well. Maybe I can give something, some sponsorship to you, and then the winner can be a part of your podcast as, in addition to.
That's what's up.
I would love that. Yeah, definitely.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. That's where we're gonna do that. What Denzel say, my nigga.
We're gonna make it make sense. We locked in.
We locked in. Thank you so much for coming through, B. I certainly appreciate all your insight. Appreciate you giving the tickets away. Appreciate you making the connections. I just appreciate you in general. And so thanks for stopping by. Yes. We're going to definitely stay locked into everything that you got going on, and you stay locked in with Behind Bars. You officially are an inmate now.
Yes, I appreciate that. And
you're an inmate.
Thank you for inviting me to the show, Miss Playma. I wish Big Play was here so I could have interacted with him, but I'll see him next time.
He part-time.
I always enjoy listening to you. You have your talent is amazing. The way you speak, the way you present yourself, your whole aura is just beautiful. I love it. And
I appreciate that, B.
Show, man.
I appreciate that. Y'all give it up for B.
Yes.
Well, that's all, folks. That's all the time that we have this week. That was a good show. I don't know about y'all, but that was a good show. And I'm so glad that B came through and popped off with us. And I want y'all to stay locked in. I want y'all to be on the lookout for the shows that he's got coming up. The showcase here in Kalamazoo, the Trina show that's coming up. As always, you need to be streaming that Big Play. You need to be watching that Big Boss video. You need to be locked into everything that the Zone, that everybody from West Michigan got going on. Support your own. Support your own. Support your own. That's all the time we have. Y'all tune in next week for the podcast that goes behind the bars of local and international artists, as well as discusses the culture in real time. Because as I always say, a life lived, it's a bar. We out.
No, these niggas cannot beat me. Don't know why they keep on trying. I'ma keep on grinding. Your boy gon' be on TV. We came all the way from nothing, turned it into something. No, these niggas cannot beat me. Don't know why they keep on trying. I'ma keep on grinding.
No Vaseline was good, but it didn't hit like.
Turn it into something.